Good morning. My name is Tim McNary. I'm with Colorado State University C.P. Gillette Museum of Arthropod Diversity, and I'm working on the identification of grasshoppers from the LTER program out of Kansas State University in Manhattan. The first thing you do is you want to make sure that you empty the whole bag and that no specimens of Orthoptera or grasshoppers, katydids, and crickets are left in the plastic bag. Next, you want to check that you have the right bag and the right label and the right tag. And so this is CLSBD number 1, and the date is 21/08/04. The samples have a varying amount of vegetative material and other materials in them, so as you go through it, if you have too much vegetation, you can sort that out. But make sure you aren't throwing any grasshoppers away when you're sorting the vegetation. You can kind of shake them a little bit to knock dirt off of them as you sort them. But then first things, they start sorting them into the various piles with the various species. This is Orfuella speciosus. This is Mammaria bivitatus. Orfuella speciosus. There's Mammaria nymph. Hypochlora alba adult. Conchocephalus. There's the leg that belongs to that Mammaria, and the leg that belongs to the adult Mammaria. There's Melanoplis nymph, probably femur rubrum, but we'll take a look at that with the hand lens. Mammaria scutteri, you can always tell those by the distinctly tan brown color. You may not be able to see that on this camera. But as you get them all sorted out, there's one that's just an abdomen. We'll count that as a specimen. You do see parts and pieces. Oh, there's the head for that Conchocephalus abdomen that was there. And when you're all done sorting them out, put them in piles, make sure you look again. There's sometimes smaller first instar, second instar specimens in there. But once you're convinced you have them all out of there, then you need to write your data down. And, this first one is Melanoplis scutteri. You have to look at it with a hand lens to see what instar it is, and that's a 4th instar. Melanoplis scutteri, 4th instar 1. This one looks like Melanoplis femur rubrum. You can tell by the marks on the hind leg as well as the marks on the side of the thorax. If you look at it with your hand lens, you can tell this is a 4th instar male. We really aren't keeping data on male and female nymphs, but with Melanoplis femur rubrum, if you have the male, even at the 3rd instar, you can definitively identify it based on the furcula. Okay, we have 3 small Conchocephalus. We'll call those 3rd instar. We have 1 male adult Hypochlora alba. We have Mammaria bivitatus, adult female. You know that's a female by the size. You also know it's bivitatus by this white mark on the side of the wing. And we got 1 5th instar nymph of that. And then as far as Orfuella speciosus, we got 1 female and 3 males. There's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11 specimens I have on my data sheet, and as a check now I count the number of specimens in the pan. says 12. What did I do wrong? Oh, there it is. Wrote a 1 where I should have wrote a 2. So that's why you always keep checking, is to make sure your data is correct. After you're done with the sample, you put it back in the plastic bag. Shake it down to the bottom and put the tie back on it. And I always cut off this large hunk of plastic at the back just to save space and storage. And the last thing you do is check your pan again and make sure that you got them all. And I don't see any more, so. Put that aside, it's complete, and move on to the second one. Shake the bag out, make sure everything's out of the bag, nothing's left in the bag. This is CLSBD number 6, so make sure you go to page number 6 of your data sheets. And again, it's 210804 is the date. This one has a little more vegetation, and you can look in the vegetation before you throw it away and sort it out. It's good to get it out of the pan if you have too much. And nothing left on there. And get rid of a few more pieces of vegetation. Okay, now we'll start sorting the Orthoptera. This is Connocephalus. Here's a Connocephalus. We just do that species, or all the species. There's probably 2 or 3 at the Quonset Prairie. We're just doing those to a genera name of Connocephalus. Okay, when you think you're done, check it again to make sure you got them all sorted. In this case, we have one Lacantha olivaceus, and that's a 5th instar. And we have 5 Connocephalus. This looks like the later instar, fairly large, so we'll call those 5th instar Connocephalus. There's 3, and 2 smaller ones, number 4. And so, as a check, go through it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 specimens on my data sheet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 specimens in the pan. We're good there. And we'll pack this one up and get ready to do the next one. Take them all down to the corner and take one more look to make sure you got them all. There's a number of penatomed stink bugs in there that we aren't counting. Some small beetles. Looks like we're good. Okay, I'll wrap it up and we're done with another one. as I'm sweeping everything away, I'm doing another check to make sure there's none left in the pan. We'll do one more on camera. There can be anywhere from 0 to probably a high number of Orthoptera in a bag is 25. I don't know if I've ever seen more than that. Give it a check to make sure there's nothing in there. They do get stuck to the wet bags in particular. This is sample number 2. So we'll go to data sheet number 2. Get these individuals sorted. There's Boteliotes nebraskiensis. That's either Campylacantha or Hesperotetex. There's Orfuella speciosus, some Conchocephalus. Put that there. Orfuella. Boteliotes nebraskiensis. This looks like a 5th instar. We'll have to look at that one to make sure what that is. It's either Cervula or Mammaria. More Conchocephalus. Take a look through, turn over the leaves. Make sure there's nothing hiding under the leaves. Sometimes you can even make sure there's nothing hiding under the tag. Okay, we'll grab my magnifying glass loupe and see if we can tell what this is. That's a Mammaria 5th instar. We'll put it as Mammaria species 5th instar. Not sure whether it's Picta or Bipitatus. There's a male and a female Orfuella speciosus adults. There's 2. Fifth instar Campylacantha. And a 4th instar Campylacantha. We'll put that data in. We have 2 Boteliotes nebraskiensis. You really have to look at every one of these under the loupe if it's a nymph to determine what instar it is. It's very deceptive going by size, general size of the specimens at Boteliotes. So that's a 4th instar and a 5th instar. If you look here, the 5th instar, the older one actually looks a little smaller than the 4th instar. So that happens with Boteliotes quite a bit. It's actually the sex different. The 5th instar is a male, and that's kind of small, and the 4th instar is a female, and she's kind of large. And then we have a 3 Campylacantha here, or not Campylacantha, I'm sorry, Conchocephalus, and we're just doing those to the genera. So there's a 5th instar and 2 4th. So there's 3. So in total on my data sheet I have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 on my data sheet. 7, 8, 9, 10 in my pan. Take a quick look to see if you've missed any of them in the vegetation, and I haven't this time. Make sure I write the date, 21/08/04, 4th of August, and we'll put these away and get ready for the next one.